Welcome into scenic Larry Miller Field on the campus of Brigham Young University, the site of the 2022 6A Baseball State Tournament on KSLSports.com. Commentary brought to you by Game Night Live Rewind. As always, we're brought to you by Heidemann and Associates and Western Governors University. It's a beautiful day for baseball. We're starting with first our elimination games, 11 o'clock and again and then at 1:30. And we'll have all those games for you right here on KSLSports.com. The 5A tournament is also available as well. As our game this morning going to pit Pleasant Grove and Taylorsville. And be interesting to see which teams come back. We see these one-loss games always very interesting, and we'll get a chance to go through everybody else. Let's go through the defensive starters first for Taylorsville. Let's go to the battery of Daniel Healy, the leadoff man, is also going to be pitching today. And his catcher is Holden Cottle, who also caught last night. And for Pleasant Grove, they're starting off first with Tua Wolfgram at catcher, Sam Haney in left field, batting third, and then Riker Scow batting probably Haney batting second, Riker Scow batting third, Caden Davis batting cleanup, then Tate Lewis, Luke Blake, Ty Caldwell, Gage Train, Cooper Thompson, and is Parker Bancroft getting the call to be on the bump for Coach Darren Henry and the Vikings. And for Taylorsville, in the outfield from left to right is Keaton Allen in left, Shonder Carrero in center, and Justin Morgan in right field. On the infield from left to right is James Gavin at third, Jansen Beckstead at short, Xander Patterson at second, and Luke Johnson at third, or probably at first. And we mentioned Healy on the hill with Holden Cottle, putting down the signs and keeping everything in front. Nate Dowdle, we got the man, the myth, the legend, working the camera this morning. And we are set and ready to go, as Tua Wolfgram will step in. It was a tough afternoon from the plate for PG yesterday. And we'll get our scoreboard up in just a few moments. As that 1-0 pitch lifted out of play, the count even at 1-1 here to Wolfgram. As we'll get that. And Wolfgram hits that one into left field. And that is a leadoff single for Pleasant Grove. And a nice start for Wolfgram. It was a tough day at the plate yesterday afternoon. So good to see him get started. And I'll bring up Sam Haney, the left fielder. And Haney from the plate. Yesterday, we talked about it was a tough afternoon against Peck, but Haney had himself a good day with a double and a single. He had a double and a run scored, and then singled in his last at bat as he fouls that one off. So if you just joined us, Wolfgram at the leadoff single. He's off first. Sam Haney stepping in, the left fielder. I have a speed-up runner on for Wolfgram as he is the catcher today. Played right field yesterday, on the dish today. So the count 0-2 to Haney. Good secondary lead, not pitched well off the plate. Had one to burn, up 0-2. The 1-2, runner goes. The throw going to be well late, and there's a stolen bag. On that pitch, it didn't matter what the pop time was. That was a good jump. So runner in scoring position here for Haney to count even at 2 balls and 2 strikes. And that one misses, and the count goes full. So base open. And the payoff pitch. Called strike 3. City Payne at the outside corner. And the first out of the inning. Always one of those things early in the games is trying to understand the strike zone from the umpire. And from our vantage point, I'm not going to argue balls and strikes, much to their pleasure. Plus, I have an umpire's daughter sitting next to me, so I'm not dumb enough to go banging on the blue. Not this umpire's daughter, but a umpire's daughter. Oh, bounced ball, and no chance. Thought would get past him. And he's thrown out at third, and Edie missed the tag as well, but Gavin applies it. And quickly, the threat to score for PG is gone as there's 2 away. And it's a 1-0 count to Riker Scow. So 2-5 on the putout. And a 1-0 count to Scow. He looks at strike 1. We talked last night about the rich history of Taylorsville baseball. 10 state championships between the 80s and 2002. And, of course, terrific baseball history at Pleasant Grove. Coach John Hoover won the most state championships of any single baseball coach's state history. Of course, that was at PG and then also his time at Cottonwood High School. As Scow lifts this one into left field. Going back, and that's off the wall. It's going to be a stand-up double here for Scow. And he'll hold up his second. Just for a moment, thought he might be rounding around it. So a 2-out double. And you see the base running areas where they hurt. That would have scored a run. And we talked about the hitting woes yesterday for PG. Good to see them get them going. Of course, Taylorsville has the shortest turnaround here. That game last night ended about 10:30, 10:40. Turn around, play the 11 o'clock game. As Caden Davis, the designated hitter. And that the throw over, a little tall, and he did apply it, and that's on the exchange. So that is the 3rd out of the inning. PG threatened but couldn't play a run, and put Taylorsville coming to the plate for their first ups. We head to the bottom of the first inning. You're watching the 2022 6A State Baseball Tournament. And welcome back to Larry Miller Field. Bottom of the first inning, Taylorsville coming to the plate. Batting order for Taylorsville is Daniel Healy, Jansen Beckstead, Luke Johnson, Justin Morgan, James Gavin, Holden Cottle, Keaton Allen in the 7 hole, Xander Patterson in 8, and John Carrero in the 9 hole. And pitching today for Pleasant Grove is going to be Connor Bancroft. I mentioned Tua Wolfgram on the dish for PG. In the outfield from left to right is Sam Haney in left, Ty Caldwell in center, Gage Train in right field, and on the infield from left to right, Cooper Thompson at third, Luke Blake at short, Riker Scow at second, and Tate Lewis on first. So Healy will get things started. It was a tough offensive evening last night for Taylorsville. Only had 1 base runner in the 5 innings. It was a 10-run game in the 5th. But temperatures are much better than they were last evening as Healy offers it the first pitch and the count 0-1. The 0-1 lifted out of play and quickly Bancroft ahead 0-2. And the 0-2 called strike 3. I'll bring up Jansen Beckstead, the shortstop. Of course, Gentry Beckstead, the manager of Taylorsville, was an Alta graduate in 1998, was drafted by the Colorado Rockies in the 2000 draft. Got up to AAA baseball as high as he went, to the Sky Sox. Played JC at Salt Community College. I believe in that time frame, he was pretty close to being there with Chris Shelton. I might be off on that. Of course, Chris Shelton, Mr. April. And now the head coach at Cottonwood High School. And no, he did not. Amazingly, there's not definition of whether or not you went or not on a check swing. And on that 3-1 pitch, he swings through it. Count now full. 3 balls and 2 strikes. And the payoff pitch wide of the plate, and then base runner on. Amazing what a little sunshine does for your bats. So I bring up Luke Johnson. As that pitch is off the plate. And that ball hit to the right side. It's a tailing foul. And into the bullpen. I don't know how grateful you are for a bullpen down the line until yesterday. With all the foul balls we had, at least we were able to find them all. So the count even at 1-1 here to Johnson. I'm talking about the glory years of Taylorsville baseball, and Johnson looks like those guys from years past. Think of Padilla and Jensen from that 07 team, the last Taylorsville team to make it to the state championship game. It was right here at BYU. As Johnson goes back up the middle, kicks off the bag. And Beckstead heads up, going to move over to third. So runners on the corners here for Taylorsville. So we're going to go E4 on that one. So Johnson reaches, and now runners on the corners, and a chance for Justin Morgan to drive in a run here for the Warriors. And that's lifted out of play. Talking about the history of Taylorsville, Coach Steve Cramblett. Of course, he's built Taylorsville baseball and then went on to Juan Diego. As that pitch is in there for a called strike, and PG gives up the bag. So two runners in scoring position with 1 out and an 0-2 count. Coach Henry are going to draw in his infield. So on the base pass, freeze on the line drive, see the ball through. So hard hit ball might only score 1. And that pitch off the plate. Had 1 to burn there, up 0-2. Still throw some secondary pitches here. Does not have to come back and feed him fastballs. It does elevate it and miss it. So the count evened up at 2 balls and 2 strikes. So 2 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out, and 2 on. And Morgan fouls that one back. So we'll do it again at 2-2. Big on both sides here. Bancroft wants to get out of the jam for Morgan and for the morale of Taylorsville, be able to plate their first run. What they're looking for. And that 2-2 pitch wide of the plate. And the count now full. Base open and James Gavin on deck. And again, hanging in there with another foul ball. So we'll go again at 3-2. And the payoff pitch. Bender in there, swung through and missed for the second out of the inning. A good job of coming back there for Bancroft. It didn't feel like he was going to find a punch-out pitch. I know pitchers always get a little worked up, and you draw the infield in. I always talk about pitch to contact. They're always worried about doing it when your infield's drawn in. Pitchers don't like their ERA changing. So that brings up James Gavin, the third baseman, with 2 outs, and that ball finds the outer part. Bancroft able to get ahead. Now the 0-1. A little breaking piece fouled out of play. So up 0-2. Imagine you see him go down and away here with the breaking ball. See if they get 2-5 to chase. And he does. He does, but able to find it off there by Gavin. So let's talk about location, up, down, in and out. So when down and away, 0-2. Imagine they elevate inside here. You still want to supply the power and leave it over the plate. So they're going to go down and away again. Elevated anyway, missed his spot, swung through, and out of the jam for Bancroft. So we're through 1. No runs scored. We head to the top of the second inning. PG coming to the plate. You're watching the 2022 6A Baseball State Tournament on KSLSports.com. Welcome back. Fun to be back at BYU. I mentioned earlier the first state tournament at BYU, I believe since 07. There could have snuck another year in there without me remembering it, but remember it because it was here. Jordan's first state championship in school history, and it was also their centennial year, 2007. There's another leadoff single for PG. That's Tate Lewis. Bings that one through the left side, and a leadoff man aboard. And I'll bring up Luke Blake, the shortstop. Luke had 2 singles and an RBI yesterday. And hits this one well to left field. Man, they're playing him right on the line. I think someone came and watched the game yesterday. Usually you don't see your left fielder only playing 5 paces off the chalk, but he was. Coach Beckstead knew what he wanted to do. These coaches come and watch the games, keep a book. That's why I teach anyone, if you learn how to keep a book, draw lines where guys hit the ball. It'll help you out. As Healy misses that one up. This is Ty Caldwell, the center fielder. Finds the outside part. Evens up at a ball and a strike. So the count goes to 1-2 here on Caldwell. And that one's wide of the plate. And that one misses wide as well, so it's a walk here to Caldwell. Drew 2 walks yesterday. So now runners on first and second for the Vikings. Remember last inning they had runners aboard and had some, hate calling it a base running error, but he didn't see it get past the catcher on a bounced curveball. And that brings up Gage Train, the right fielder. And he wears that on the hip. Had someone in the press box yesterday saying, hey, just wear it. Well, there you go. So Cooper Thompson comes to the plate with bases loaded and 1 out. Chance to pick up some runs here for Coach Henry. Corners up, middle's back, and the breaking ball swung on. So your third baseman, see if you can cut it off a home or take it where, throw where it takes you. And middle's going to roll, and you concede the, well, you don't even concede the get you out of the inning up the middle. And that one hit well down left field, but hook and foul. Had the distances, didn't have the straightness, if that's a word. So breaking ball, pitch 1. Saw it here, elevated pitch. Swung through and missed. And out 2 away. But we bridge to the top of the order. So Tua Wolfgram, the leadoff man for the Vikings, comes to the plate. The chance to do some damage. Wolfgram singled to lead off the game. He would drive in 2. And that one finds the outer part of the plate for strike 1. I think he crossed him up. And no balls, 1 strike, bases loaded and 2 outs. And he bounces the breaking ball. Count even at a ball and a strike. And now the 1-1. Could not catch up to that one. Up and out. Looked like a beach ball to Tua. Couldn't catch up to it. So raise his eye level, see if they go back to that. And now the 1-2. Outside again and able to fight it off. So do it again, 1 ball and 2 strikes. Again, 2 able to fight it off, trying to stay away. We got a catcher in the box. You going to come inside now? Away, away, away. Come inside. That's a smile, yeah. She says way inside. And he's trying to go Willie Mays and take away the inside part of the plate with his feet, for heaven's sakes. So 1-2, they're staying away. And he swung through it. What do we know? Gets out of the jam as we head to the bottom of the second inning. A lot of traffic on the base paths, but Healy been up to the task. We head to the bottom of the second inning, and it's 0-0. You're watching the 2022 6A Baseball State Tournament. Bottom of the second inning, and Taylorsville comes to plate. And leading off for the Warriors is Holden Cottle, the catcher, as he looks at strike one. And the 0-1 lifted on the infield. And Tate Lewis squeezes it for the first out. Well, both teams threatened to score in the first and second inning. PG ran themselves out in the first, and the second, bases loaded and 1 out. Didn't plate a run. Don't drive Coach Henry crazy. When you look at Taylorsville, they had runners on second and third and 1 out, and unable to push one across as well. So that brings up Keaton Allen, the left fielder. And it's quickly ahead, 2-0. And the 2-0 pitch is wide as well. And the count now runs at 3 balls and no strikes. And the 3-0 finds the plate. And now Bancroft's going to try to come all the way back. Oh, the bender just misses. And a leadoff walk. And brings up Xander Patterson, the second baseman. No DH for Taylorsville. They go straight up 9. And a called strike. So the count even at a ball and a strike. Getting 4 games today. We'll do this one 11 to 1:30 game of Fremont and Lone Peak. Coming up next, seniors trying to keep their baseball dreams alive as that one misses inside, 2-1. And now the 2-1 misses inside. As the count goes to 3 balls and 1 strike. And, just missed. So now runners on first and second for Taylorsville. So Jonder Guerrero comes to the plate. Looking to frog splash his way. That's Guerrero, not Carrero, but wrestling fans know what I was going for. As Jonder will step out. The 9 hitters will bridge the top of the order. Corners up, middle's back, playing for the double play. And that one's left up. The 1-0 finds his own, evens up at a ball and a strike. So 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out, and 2 on. Here for the 9-hole hitter, Yonder Carrero. And he lifts this one into left field, tailing toward the line. That's going to hang up in the afternoon sky. And pulled in by Sam Haney. Now 2 away for the Warriors. And to the top of the order we go, and Daniel Healy, the pitcher, looking to help his cause here. A runner in scoring position and a chance to give himself a lead. And that one misses up and out. Always talking about in these games, what you do in the 7, 8, 9 hitters will make or break you as a team. And you go through 7, 8, 9 and get 2 of the 3 on board. And for Taylorsville, on the flip side of that, is to cash in when that happens. If you're 7, 8, 9 guys and get on base, you expect 1, 2, and 3 to bring them in. And 2 balls and no strikes to Healy, and that one in there for a called strike. 2-1, a good count. They don't want to load the bases. He's going to keep throwing you straight stuff. Presumably, anyway. 2-1 fastball down the line and foul. And another one into the bullpen. It was a count to 2-2. Two balls, 2 strikes, 2 on and 2 out. For Daniel Healy, the pitcher. Runner goes. And strike him out, throw him out. Called strike 3, threw out the runner at third. And the threat is over again. 3 runners in scoring position left on base by Taylorsville in 2 innings. We head to the top of the third, still tied at 0. You're watching Elimination Day of the 6A state tournament. Top of the 3rd inning. And we're still looking for our first run today. Is Haney offers it the first pitch and toward the line. And the first out. And I'll bring up Riker Scow, the second baseman. Riker doubled. Back in the first. He's in a single here, and they played him toward the line. It's going to get to the wall. Created a big gap. I tried to sit on the line. So 2 doubles and 2 plate appearances for Riker Scow. Not to wonder if number 5 showed up ready to go today. Get it done from the plate. So when you're coach and you got someone that does that, you feel good. You just want to get some runners on with him. But Taylorsville continues to play about 3 paces off the line in left field. It's a ton of ground to cover straight away at center. So Caden Davis comes to the plate. Designated hitter. Been a tough couple days at Larry Miller Field for him as he looks at strike 1. And that pitch misses wide. There's the count to 1-1.
T-Bill guy or the Pleasant Grove guy? So you're saying he has 44, but he's not on the mound.
And the bender misses. The count goes to 2-1. Those golden tones you hear is Jeff Clough. He's running this tournament today, or this week. He wants something to do with adulation. He just runs off. So 2 balls and 1 strike. Scow off second. And Davis looks at ball 3. And that one is up, so walks him. So runners on first and second. Ducks on the pond here for the Vikings. Can they come through, especially going through the heart of their order? Here comes Tate Lewis. And he's going to step off. Chop to the left side. That's going to get through. And here comes our first run. Scow doubles. And he comes in, and that's going to be a single. Gavin gave the attempt on the dive, couldn't corral it. And that ball gets through the infield, and PG plates their first run.
Is the shortstop, number 10, Luke Blake.
So runners on the corners. That brings up Luke Blake, the shortstop. And that one ripped into left field. Here comes another run. 2-0 PG, back-to-back RBI singles for Lewis and Blake. And here come the Vikings.
Now batting is the center fielder, number 13, Caldwell.
And I'll bring up the center fielder, Caldwell. Walked in his only plate appearance. And that pitch off the plate. And now the 1-0 in there. It evens up at a ball and a strike. And that 1-1 foul back to the screen. That one misses up, evens the count at 2 balls and 2 strikes. And that one up and out of the zone as well. Full count. Well, Caldwell works the count very well. And a threat of loading the bases. Got to feed him here. The payoff pitch. Lifted into center field. This might move the runner to third. And no attempt. A nice job of bringing that one in and a strong throw. Not going to test the arm of Carrero. So that brings up the right fielder, Gage Train. With 2 out and 2 on. Somebody spoke earlier talking about Coach John Hoover. Won 6 state championships in 94 and 98. But Pleasant Grove does have the most career victories that are recorded. 595 victories. He was the head coach at PG from 74 to 04. And then Caldwell to 05 to 2011. But the most state championships is Coach Bailey Santa-Steven. Go way back. Won 11 state championships at Bingham. But Coach Steve Cramblett won 9 state titles. The three-peat, 92, 93, 94. As that one fouled out. And then 96, 98, 2000, 2002 at Taylorsville, and won state championships at Juan Diego in 05 and 09. As that one fouled back to the screen. Always make sure we're up to date on all that stuff. Kim Nelson, of course, still going. There's the 8 state titles between his time at AF and Timpanogos. And swung on and missed for the 3rd out of the inning, but PG plates 2, and they take a 2-0 lead as we head to the bottom of the 3rd inning. See if Taylorsville can respond. You're watching the 2022 6A state tournament on KSLSports.com. Bottom of the 3rd inning and a 2-0 lead. Pleasant Grove leading Taylorsville. Bancroft's getting close to his pitch limit. It's a fun sitting next to Curtis Pettengill. Keeps track of such things for everybody as that pitch is in for a called strike. And I believe I misspoke earlier. And then the last thing, it wasn't a strike him out, throw him out. Healy was still at the plate. So the 3rd out was at 3rd. As that ball lifted down the line and foul. So a ball and a strike because we had the fly out from Cottle for the 1st out. Carrero flew out to left, and then we had to throw down to 3rd for the 3rd out of the inning. Like Ryan Rosillo, I just want to make sure we're accurate with what we got here. Ball and 2 strikes. And that one misses up. Counting even to 2-2. Healy, the starting pitcher for Taylorsville. Went down on strikes in his only plate appearance. Well, technically his 3rd plate appearance. As the one came to an end. Down the line. Is that fair? No, just foul. By a whisker. Coach Beckstead, just making sure, Mr. Umpire, are you sure? Yes, I'm sure. You sure you're sure? I'm sure. Man, that thing was close. We need the tennis Cyclops on that one. So now the 2-2 just fought off. Off his knuckles there. And we'll do it again. 2 balls and 2 strikes. And Healy grounds that one out. Luke Blake with the 6-3 putout. only the second infield put out of the day, if you don't count the throwdown. So that brings up Jansen Beckstead. Beckstead looks to drop that down and can't. And that'll do it. Coach Henry can come out and get Bancroft. Because he could have finished the batter. But that'll do it for Bancroft as he hits the pitch limit. And so we'll have a pitching change, and we'll be right back. You're watching the 2022 6A State Tournament, brought to you by Heidemann Associates and Western Governors University.
College wasn't built for me.
It didn't care if I had to work a double shift.
Or if my kid had a fever.
Deadline's a deadline.
I want to set the deadlines.
I want to take tests when I'm ready.
I want to take courses on my time.
And speed up when I know my stuff.
I want a university that cares about me.
Tests on your time, courses on your time, graduate on your time. WGU, the nonprofit university of you.
So Hudson Banks going to come in relief of Connor Bancroft, who goes 2 1/3. Coach Henry for hitting his pitching limit. So lefty Banks. And a strikeout. So now you can close the book on Connor Bancroft, as there's 2 away. Funny enough, if there were runners on, he would have inherited the runs. He doesn't get the strikeout awarded, right? See, I try to break Curtis Pettengill's brain every once in a while with the official stuff, and there's a strike. This Luke Johnson in the box, count even at 1-1. Bancroft goes 2 1/3, 3 Ks, 3 walks, no hits. As Johnson hits that one sharply to short. And we're going to give him the hit. First hit at BYU for Taylorsville. 7 2/3 of an inning between their hits. So he did, okay. So he gave the strikeout to Banks. Because that's what I wondered. It's always funny with baseball, right? Because if a pitcher comes in, and I know I'm sure so maybe you care, those watching care or don't care, but if you keep the book, when a pitcher comes in and there's runners aboard, you inherit the runners. So if they score, it goes on the previous pitcher, not the one on the mound, but the one he replaced. I was just curious if you inherit a count, if the strikeout would go to the pitcher who actually got the strikeout or to the pitcher who started the at-bat. That was the kind of the fun question. As that ball hit sharply foul by Justin Morgan. And, of course, I share that for older baseball fans and, of course, even young ones. They're not quite 2 years old eating his lunch at home with his mother. And the 0-2, he had one to burn. The count goes to ball and 2 strikes. And now the 1-2. Bender fisted to second. Scow comes over, and that's a tough one to get. Absolutely. That's an infield single. So back-to-back hits here for Taylorsville. And again, runners aboard for the Warriors. And how much Scout's going to do with that one? So James Gavin comes to the plate. Of course, James, he and his twin brother. His brother pitched last night, or the two stars of the basketball team at Taylorsville. Outstanding seasons. So in their first half against Skyridge, they shot the lights out. As Gavin looks at ball one. Ooh. Little Mitch Williams action there. That ball goes behind Gavin, and wild pitch can advance the runners to second and third. So once again, runners in scoring position for Taylorsville. And Gavin in a hitter's count at 2 balls and no strikes. And the 2-0 wide of the plate. And he's got to feed him up. Got to feed him down 3-0. And that misses. So base is loaded for Taylorsville. Can the Warriors take advantage? That brings up Holden Cottle. The game time run at second base. 2 outs, runners running on contact. He's going to plate 2 if he can get one through the infield. So Banks dealing with some traffic. And strike 1. And the 0-1 foul off. Quickly down, no balls and 2 strikes. Connells is shortening it up. Got to put the ball in play here. And if you're Banks, you got 1 to burn and make it enticing. He can go secondary pitches for the next three pitches here. There's no reason to come at him. Okay, no balls, 2 strikes, 2 out, bases loaded. Game time run at second base. No, he did not. And that'll be 1 and 2. Now goes behind him. Wild pitch. Going to bounce right back. And there's the first run. Johnson comes in to score. And it's fitting. The guy that had the first hit at BYU for Taylorsville comes in with the first run for the Warriors. And now the game time run at third base. And a go-ahead run in scoring position. Banks had a couple of fastballs get away from him to go behind the hitter. And the shin guard looked like his strap came off. So Wolfgram's going to have to fix some equipment. We got an equipment timeout. We'll take a quick break. You're watching the 2022 6A State Tournament. We'll be right back. So equipment taken care of here with Wolfgram. The buckle came off. One of the straps there. So 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 on and 2 out. And now the count runs full. And Fields back. Runners going on contact. Here on the 3-2. Ground ball. Handled cleanly on the way to first. Ooh, nice dig by Lewis. Man. Make the hairs on the neck stand up on that throw. As we go to the bottom, or probably the top of the fourth inning, PG clinging to a 2-1 lead. It's Elimination Day here at the 6A State Tournament. We'll be right back. You're watching the 2022 6A State Baseball Tournament on KSLSports.com, your home for online championships. Into Larry Miller Field. Dusty Litster with you. As always, our commentary brought to you by Heidemann & Associates and Western Governors University. Make 2022 the year of you. Go to wgu.edu to fill out your opportunity to get a $1,000 scholarship to Western Governors University. Get your degree of your choice at your own pace on your own time at Western Governors University. wgu.edu. As we go to the top of the fourth inning, and leading off for Pleasant Grove is Cooper Thompson, 9-hole hitter. And they swung through that one. And now the 0-1. Chopped the plate. Quickly fall behind. No balls and 2 strikes. Only second plate appearance for Thompson. And the 0-2. On to short. Able to get it. Throw over in time for the first out. Nicely done by Jansen Beckstead. So on top of the order we go, and Tua Wolfgram, the catcher. Wolfgram 1 for 2 today as he falls behind 0-1. Wolfgram singled in the first. Went down on strikes back in the second. And again, Taylorsville playing left field just right on the line there. And that one misses inside, evens the count. I think Coach Henry thought it hit him. I don't know that it did. We had one last night that everybody in the box thought that the batter got hit in the Riverton-Taylorsville game. And it was almost like a, well, I'm guessing like a wink-wink between the home plate umpire and the batter. I think they asked if they're going to go to Astroburger or where they're going to go after the game. Hey, he wants us to check. What do you guys want? I think Clough's getting his lunch. Okay, never mind. We're good. Hey, he stays there. 1 ball and 1 strike. And Wolfgram lifts us up in the infield. That's a tough one to get to. And that's in no man's land and falls harmlessly to the turf. And it's 1 ball and 2 strikes. So Wolfgram steps in, 1 ball, 2 strikes. 1 out, and that one misses wide of the plate. He evens the count at 2-2. And hits this one well in the left field. That one's going to get to the wall. Again, playing him on the line. That's a stand-up double for Wolfgram. Third double a day for the Vikings. And I'll bring up Sam Haney. And of course, the 2 other doubles belong to Riker Scow, who has 2 of them. And he's on deck. So Haney to the plate with 1 out and a runner on second. Haney yet to reach today. As mentioned, swung a good bat in the later innings yesterday. Got himself moved up in the batting order. The coach is trying to find a hot bat to get things moving. And this one's going to drop in for Haney. Wolfgram rounds third and comes in. And it's 3-1 PG. On the RBI single from Sam Haney. Good piece of hitting by Haney, and that's going to bring up Riker Scow. Scow 2 for 2 with 2 doubles and a run scored. And looks at strike one. So he doubled up the line, and then he doubled in the alley. I think they're going to pitch him away, see if he'll let the ball travel, hit this thing to right field, and he does. That ball's going to drop in, no doubt. That's a fair ball all the way to the wall. Scow's third, double a day. He's going to make it a triple. He is, and that's an RBI stand-up triple for Riker Scow. And it is 4-1 PG.
Number 17, Caden Davis.
How about the day for Scow? 3 at-bats, 3 extra base hits. And then he had an RBI to it. That brings up Caden Davis. And that ball's going to get past. So, pass ball and a run scores. So 5-1 now, PG. So a 1-0 count here to Davis. Walked and scored last inning. Davis lifts this one into shallow right field. Ooh, second baseman goes out to get it. So F4 in the books is Xander Patterson. Goes out to get that one. And I won't adjudicate whose ball that could have and should have been, but he just wants someone to take control. And Patterson did. I guess we'll adjudicate it. Usually outside man in, unless it's a center fielder. But Patterson was on top of it and let him have it. As Lewis lifts this one out of play. And Lewis goes down to a knee on that one. The count now no balls and 2 strikes. Lewis is 2 for 2 with 2 singles and an RBI. That one misses up and in. Change the eye level here. Come up in, see if they go down the way on 1 and 2. And they try to go away. They fought it off. Ball and 2 strikes. And now the 1-2. Again, fought off by Lewis. 1-2, misses inside. Count even up at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Beautiful day at the ballpark today. A little wind, blowing slightly left to right, straight away. And this one hit into right field, diving in and coming and making the play is Justin Morgan. For 3 runs in the inning for Pleasant Grove. And a hole here for Taylorsville. See the bats get going as we head to the bottom of the 4th inning. It's PG 5, Taylorsville 1. My only thing is at least they're hitting the ball to get these runs. 9 hits on the afternoon for PG, played in 5 runs. And we talked about before, when we have a lopsided game, I love seeing that it's hits and not walks and kind of booting the ball all over the yard. We get some hard hit balls that are getting all the way to the wall and scoring runs. Much prefer that. Much prefer that. Again, we'll have the games all week for you, taking you all the way to Championship Saturday as we end the school year and sending you to Memorial Day. Cannot believe it's Memorial Day weekend already. As that pitch is in there for a called strike. Count now 2-1 to Keaton Allen, the left fielder. And the count evens up at 2 balls and 2 strikes. And the 2-2 wide of the plate. So Hudson Banks on the hill still for Coach Henry. Want to see if we can get through this game without using arms. They're going to have to extend this season as there's strike 3 on Allen in the first out of the inning for Taylorsville. And that brings up Xander Patterson, the second baseman. Oh, Utah County teams must be playing as Darnell Dixon from the Daily Herald comes walking in today. Also known, you might also know him from his appearances on Ben Criddle's show on ESPN 960. Don't know if I should be saying that or not. The boss is standing right in front of me. Is that what misses? 2-0. We're still learning on new grounds. That's in there for a called strike. 2-1. And now the 2-1. And that one bounces. 3 balls and 1 strike. And the 3-1 pitch. Chop to the left side. Throw to first. Just dug out there by Lewis. It's a long throw for Cooper Thompson. And Lewis, that's why he's there, is to dig those out for the out. So 2 away on the 5-3 put out. Folks, do you have a hot mic and you start wanting to quote funny TV shows? Troy McClure get you into trouble. So here comes Jonder Carrero. And now one in there for a called strike. And that ball back through the box. Oh, just past the diving glove of Scow. And that's a 2-out single for Jonder Carrero. So man aboard as he bridges to the top of the lineup. So top of the order, and it's Daniel Healy. The plate looking at ball one. But I tell you, if you want your Cougar Insider stuff, Mitch Harper on KSLSports.com. That's where you go. And then you can quote like Fun with Dick and Jane, and you call him Mitch Harper. So Mitch been around for a long time. Good friend. Much better voice. And he's not near as combative. And an easier follow on Twitter. That is true. And I'm good friends of the other guy that I mentioned earlier who will no longer be talked about. There's that one in there for a called strike, much to the chagrin of the Warriors. And Daniel Healy, I believe, and I could be wrong on the number. Well, I shouldn't do it. But Mr. Buck was a catcher at Taylorsville and played in the majors for a long time. And that one bounced. Of course, speaking of professional baseball players or catchers from the state of Utah, Peyton Henry. Hopefully Peyton's watching his dad's games this week. I know he's busy, living a life in the show. But the 2-1 lifted to the right side. Scow ranges over. Tails back toward the field, and that one's going to drop in. I can't explain how different that is. You're coming from the infield. That's why you're talking about the outside man in. Yeah, the outside man in. That's a right fielder ball. He's got to come get that thing. Because it just starts to feel like, even if it doesn't really do it, the view is it's going to tail back toward the field. And you saw him not get to that ball. So Healy with the Texas Leaguer. The line from Bull Durham, just one ball with eyes, one Texas Leaguer. One dying quail is the difference. And now we got runners on the corners. Yeah, that brings up Jansen Beckstead. Looks at ball one. So 2 outs. They're going to hold the runner at first. Want the game to get interesting there. See if they can keep him on a ball that gets to the outfield. Middle's back. The corner at third back as well. Trying to keep everything in front. Throw it across. Short way up the middle. And the runner's running on contact. And the 1-0 may have gotten him. Somewhere got a friend watching the stream saying may have. He got him. So Beckstead will take first, and now bases loaded. Game time run comes to the plate in the form of Luke Johnson. So Johnson, 1 for 2 today. He's reached base twice. The drive in 2 with the base hit here, and that one in there for a called strike 1. Warrior faithful thought that was down. And now the 0-1. off the plate. Evened up at a ball and a strike. And now the 1-1. Lifted into center field. And Caldwell back there to pull it in. So again, Warriors getting guys on base, can't drive them in. We go to the top of the 5th inning in a 5-1 lead for Pleasant Grove. You're watching the 2022 6A state tournament inning. And leading off for PG is Luke Blake, the shortstop. And he looks at ball 2. Healy staying on the mound for Coach Beckstead. And that one misses up. So 3 balls and no strikes. Blake is 1 for 2 with an RBI today. And that 3-0 pitch in there for called strike 1. The 3-1 bounced. Vladdy Guerrero might have hit that one to right field, but it is a ball and leadoff walk. That brings up Ty Caldwell, the center fielder. He has walked and flown out to center in his 2 plate appearances. Hits this one well to right field. Ball carrying, and it's going to get down. That's going to get to the wall. And it'll be a stand-up double. And runners on 2nd and 3rd.
Now batting is the right fielder, number 2, Gage Train.
As Gage Train come to the plate with runners in scoring position. And that might be the day for Healy as Coach Beckstead comes out, and we'll have the numbers for Healy and the pitching change when we come back. You're watching the 2022 6A state tournament.
College wasn't built for me.
I didn't care if I had to work a double shift.
Or if my kid had a fever.
Deadline's a deadline.
I want to set the deadlines.
I want to take tests when I'm ready.
I want to take courses on my time.
And speed up when I know my stuff.
I want a university that cares about me.
Tests on your time, courses on your time, graduate on your time. WGU, the nonprofit university of you.
So a pitching change is going to be Jansen Beckstead coming in to throw as Healy will go to short. As Healy goes 5 1/3. So it brings up Gage Train with runners in scoring position. Taylors are looking to cut him down. Ground ball to short. Healy with it on to first. And one away. Exactly how you hope it'll happen. For Coach Beckstead. Get the out, save the run. So pinch hitter is Hayden Zamboni. So Hayden Zamboni going to pinch hit here with the runners in scoring position. And 1 out. And he looks at ball 1. Zamboni did single yesterday to the right side. And the 1-0 lifted on the infield. And it's the 2nd out. Good job here. Beckstead coming in, pitching to contact, and it's not been squared up at all. And that quick 2 outs since the pitching change. So to the top of the order we go, and Tua Wolfgram, who is 2 for 3 with a run scored today, and a single and a double in his last at bat. And they're playing the playing the same way, are shading center field a little bit into the gap. Lifts this one down the right field line and looks like it'll get out of play, and it will. I mentioned yesterday, played right field, did Tua, and catching this morning. He has hit the ball well today. Scalded his first at bat, scalded the ball in the left field for the single, and he hit the ball well in the gap last inning for the 1-out double before scoring on the hit by Sam Haney. Beckstead's pitch is wide of the plate. So the book's still open on Healy as he is responsible for the 2 runners. So the consultation over. Step back in, 1-1. Chopped softly, handled by Beckstead on to first, and nice job. Beckstead comes in inheriting 2 runners and no outs. He's able to go in order. So we go to the bottom of the 5th inning, and it's 5-1. PG leading Taylorsville. You're watching the 2022 6A Baseball State Tournament. Bottom of the 5th inning. And Taylorsville trailing by 4 as we'll lead off with the 4-hitter. And Morgan wears that one off the Tookus. So a leadoff walk. So 1 on and no outs as James Gavin comes to the plate. Talk about Taylorsville going 18-0 in Region 2 play. This is a team combined only had 2 home runs, and well, this tells you they put the ball in play. And it's just not been able to push across runs today. They have 4 hits. They've scattered a bunch of runners. And that ball back to the pitcher. Banks knocks it down, fires to first just in the nick of time to get Gavin. Advances the runner to second. So in essence, the sacrifice, well, it won't go down the book that way, but a 1-3 put out as the runner goes into scoring position. And I'll bring up Holden Cottle, the catcher. But that will probably be the day there for Hudson Banks. I just want to check on Banks, make sure he didn't jam his finger or something. Yeah, that's where, so make sure that bare hand was good. Can I remind you, our broadcast brought to you by Heidemann & Associates. Get a free consultation. Just go to utah.law, file law office nearest you. But if you're not near a law office, the great thing with Justin is he'll always do a phone call consultation or even a video call with you. Get that free consultation. Let them know that Rewind sent you. Again, Heidemann and Associates. Known Justin for nearly all my life. Both of us out of the thriving metropolis of Wellington, Utah. The Manhattan, the Prairie Dogs. But known Justin forever. Couldn't trust anybody more, lawyer, than Justin Heidemann. So that pitch misses. And it is a 1-0 count. And that one swung on, snapped to second. And hitter interference. Hitter interference, and so the runner's out. Probably the batter's out. As he was out over the plate. And that's pretty smart on Wolfgram. If he knows he's fallen out over the plate, he'd come up firing. He cannot be in the path of the catcher throwing it down. He'll call that what it is. I think it's just two Wolfgram picking up on something and able to get the out. So interference on Old and Cottle. And 2 away. So that brings up Keaton Allen, the left fielder. The 1-0. Finds a zone. So 1 ball, 1 strike, 2 out, and a runner on second. And that pitch wide of the plate, 2-1. So 2 balls and 1 strike, 2 outs, and runner on second. That pitch comes inside and misses. Moves the count to 3-1. Keaton reached on a walk back in the second, went down on strikes in the fourth. And he waves at that one. Strike 2. Count full. We tell you guy, hey, 3-1. Don't we want to be guessing on 3-1. And he certainly did there. And now the payoff pitch. And nice job, goes with it into right field. That's going to bring the runner around third. And that throw going to be cut off. And that's an RBI single for Keaton Allen as Justin Morgan comes in to score. And it's 5-2.
Gavin is the second baseman, number 41, Xander Patterson.
And I'll bring up the second baseman, Xander Patterson. It's a nice piece of hitting there by Keaton Allen. Let's see if Xander can keep the inning alive as he looks at ball 1. And Xander reached on a walk and he grounded out his last time up in the 4th inning. Love to come through with 2 outs. A 9-hole hitter, Jonder Carrero, coming up next. And that one wide of the plate. 2 balls and no strikes. And Coach Henry might be coming out to lift his pitcher. If he does, we'll take a quick break. Just remind you to make 2022 the year of you. Go to wgu.edu for your opportunity to get a $1,000 scholarship. Of course, Western Governors University, very close to our friends in Taylorsville. 7th East and 39th South campus, but you also don't have to go on campus. You can do all your classes online, do it at your own pace. You can get a $1,000 scholarship. Go to wgu.edu and your chance to get that scholarship. Can make 2022 the year of you. Your degree on your time at your own pace. And that one misses down. The count now goes to 3 balls and no strikes. And that 3-0 pitch misses. So 2 aboard. As we go to Jonder Carrero, and that'll do it for Banks. He's going to have to come out as Coach Henry comes out to get him. So it'll be the 9-hole hitter when we come back. You're watching the 2022 6A state tournament. So Cooper Thompson comes on to throw for Coach Henry. And I'll bring up the 9-hole hitter, Jonder Carrero. The game-time run at the plate for Taylorsville. It looks at strike 1. And Carrero lifts this one into center field. Caldwell goes back and has it for the 3rd out of the inning. So the threat over once again. Runners on base and unable to plate them for Taylorsville. We go to the top of the 6th inning. PG leading 5-2. And welcome back in to Larry Miller Field. Top of the 6th inning. And Sam Haney at the plate for Coach Henry and the Vikings. As Haney looked at ball 1, now looks at ball 2. Haney drove in a run and scored back in the 4th inning. Looking to get something started here for Pleasant Grove, give him a little bit of cushion in the last 2 at-bats coming up for Taylorsville. As that one's in there for called strike 1. Lone Peak Fremont coming up next is the top RPI ranked. Fremont Silver Wolves went down at the hands of Region 1 foe Farmington yesterday. They're going to take on Lone Peak, who went down against American Fork. And that's a leadoff walk for Haney. So put a man on.
Now batting is the second baseman, number 5, Riker Scow.
Brings up Riker Scow, who has been the hottest bat of the day. 2 doubles and a triple. An RBI and 2 runs scored on the day. Busy, busy man. The second baseman for the Vikings. Of course, that was all off of Healy. Beckstead came in a relief of Haney last inning. Inherited runners on 2nd and 3rd and no outs. And came in and got 3 straight outs. And all weekly hit did not get squared up at all by PG, as that one was wide of the plate. Count goes to 2-0. So Scow with 2 doubles to the left side. He tripled down the right field line. And now the 2-0. Fastball misses. So it was a 5-pitch walk to Haney. Threatening to go 4-pitch walk here. And now the 3-0 fastball called strike. And now the 3-1. Wide of the plate, and that's runners on 1st and 2nd for Pleasant Grove.
Designated hitter, number 17, Caden Davis.
That brings up the designated hitter, Davis. Caden walked and scored in the third. He can pick up an RBI here. That pitch up. And that'll bring out Coach Bancroft. Or probably Coach Beckstead. Remind you that we got state tournament games all over the place today. Game Night Live Rewind coverage. JT Worcester Sills got you locked down at UVU. Dane's taking care of lacrosse. Soccer's off today. We'll have championship games tomorrow, and Alex Tumalip will have those games. Those are at Rio Tinto. I kept saying that wrong yesterday. They played at Juan Diego for the semifinals, but championship games at Rio Tinto Stadium. And of course, I'll be here at BYU. We'll go to KSL Sports. Well, you're already here at KSLSports.com. You can see the lineup and the guide right here. So conference is over. The 1-0 pitch to Davis. Finds the corner with the breaking ball. And Davis, big swing and miss. Comes right back after the conference. Ball and 2 strikes. Kind of funny how that works. That's why coaches always take that little walk. Hey, let's calm you down. Let's talk for a second. Get you recentered. And see your pitcher come back and throws 2 straight strikes after struggling 2 batters. Davis chops that one out at the plate. We'll do it again at a ball and 2 strikes. Usually that conversation is pretty simple. Just remind them, hey, talk to the defense. This, we're going to go with the ball. And look at your pitcher. Hey, just settle down. Find the mitt. We need him swinging. You cannot defend a walk. And that 1-2 misses wide. Count goes to 2-2. Good stick coming up behind Davis. And now the 2-2. A ball lifted high into the Provo sky. Left fielder doesn't see the ball as he lost it. Little glassy. When there's no clouds or anything, you can lose it. And he certainly did, but wasn't anywhere near him. Fly out to center field. I'll tell you right now, there's no worse feeling in the world. Keaton Allen had no idea where that ball was. That is absolutely the worst feeling as a well, next being hit as a baseball player, but in the field. To have no idea where the ball is. And the funny thing is everyone goes, it's there, it's up. And that brings up Tate Lewis. And the breaking ball in there for a called strike. That one's roped to left field. They're playing him on the line, and Allen, they said he caught it. He caught it on the backhand. Thought it may come off the skip, but you would see the pellets fly. Hey, tell you what, he hit it on the line. He saw it all the way. Tate Lewis hit that on the screws. And Allen comes over for the play. So everybody stands pat. I'll tell you what you need to do with Beckstead. Get 2 runners on, and Beckstead comes in lockdown mode. I was getting ready to get into my extra bases mode. Luke Blake is going to step in. He's 1 for 2 with an RBI. Fastball misses. Beckstead finds his own there. The 1-1 Bender called strike. Hey, how about this? We talked about his fastball's been hitting 80, 81. That breaking ball was 68 miles an hour. You swing twice, but that's quite the disparity. It doesn't matter how hard you throw, but if your off speed is true off speed, my goodness gracious. Even a Carbon County kid, I know that's 13 miles an hour difference. I can do that math pretty quick. Mercy, that ball, he's well ahead on that one. And you see why the left fielder's playing the line. They know, hey, if they get around on it, they're pulling it, dead pull down the line. And they play that all day today. And thank goodness we're not in the major leagues. We would have 3 fielders on the left side of the base, of second base. And a guy standing in shallow left field. But that'll go away next year. So ball and 2 strikes, 2 out and 2 on. Fastball lifted up in the infield. Actually, he'll get out into the outfield and shallow left or right. Somewhere on the outfield. And that was squeezed for the final out of the inning. Bottom of the 6th coming up. Taylorsville chilling by 3. We'll be right back. Bottom of the 6th. And we're at the top of the order. And that ball flared into left field. And that's going to get down and past the left fielder. And that's going to be a double for Daniel Healy. And he's around for third. And the throw on time, no. He got in there. The throw may have been there, but his foot was in. And that's a leadoff triple for Daniel Healy. Tough ball if you're in left field for Sam Haney. You know you got to come in on that ball. Kind of stuck in between of how to either go feet first or come diving after it. Bounce over the top of him, and that's a leadoff triple for Taylorsville. So Jansen Beckstead comes up with a runner in scoring position. And looks to strike 1. And now the 0-1, or probably the 1-1, misses. 2 balls and a strike. And the 2-1 fisted to the left side. And handled easily by Luke Blake. So 1 away.
Now batting is the first baseman, number 28, Luke Johnson.
That brings up Luke Johnson, the first baseman. Looking to drive in a run. Looks at ball 1. Chop the third base side. That's fair. Going to bring in the run. And that is a RBI double for Luke Johnson. And it's 5-3 PG. And the tying run coming to the plate.
Now batting is the right fielder, number 45, Justin Morgan.
Here comes Justin Morgan. He's a leading hitter this year for the Warriors. And he's the game-tying run. And that's on the outer part of the plate, called strike. Morgan 1 for 2 today with the run scored. Infield single in his appearance in the third, and that's in there for a called strike 2. So quickly falling behind a ball and no balls and 2 strikes as that one's up and out of the zone. And swung on and missed for the second out of the inning.
Third baseman, number 25, James Gavin.
So Gavin steps in there for a strike, and that one misses. Count even at a ball and a strike. So 1-1 to Gavin. Reached on a walk. Chops this one foul. And got him reaching and see if he stays on the outer part of the plate here. Get 25 waving. And Wolfgram going to take a quick timeout. I remind you, coming up, if you're tuning in to watch Lone Peak and Fremont, they'll come up after the end of this game. Game was scheduled for 1:30. We'll have a 30-minute break between games once this one ends. And that one foul back to the screen. And Gavin down to his final strike. And he's a game-tying run at the plate. Breaking ball, chopped to the third base side and foul. And we'll do it again, 1-2. Two outs, runner's going to run on contact. Doesn't have to see anything through. Just wants to avoid getting backdoored. Chop to the left side. Luke up with it and on his way to first. And that'll do it for the bottom of the 6th inning. We head to the top of the 7th, and it's a 2-run ball game. Taylorsville with a play to run. Final inning. You're watching the 2022 6A State Baseball Tournament on KSLSports.com.
Although admittedly, I have to do this once in a while, otherwise I go.
Top of the 7th inning, and PG looking to add a little insurance. As we say this for Taylorsville, they've had moments where they could push across some runs. They haven't done it, but they have threatened in nearly every inning with runners in scoring position. And that 0-2 swung on, or probably 0-1 swung on, now 0-2. So no balls and 2 strikes to Caldwell, and he goes down on strikes. So one down. That'll bring up Gage Train, the right fielder. And he looks to strike 1. Train was hit by a pitch back in the 2nd inning. He went down on strikes, grounded out in his other 2 plate appearances. Looks at ball 1. Ball and a strike and 1 out. And that one's wide of the plate. It's the count now 2-1. Hit sharply and foul. Coach Henry tried to get that call. He did all he could. Look what he says in basketball. He's not falling on the ground and laying there. Shot back up the middle. Woo! Beckstead able to get away from that one. And that is a 1-out single for Gage Train. And Beckstead seems to be okay.
Now batting is the pitcher, number 6, Cooper Thompson.
And I'll bring up Cooper Thompson. So 1 on, 1 out here in the 9-hole hitter. And the pitcher, and he looks at the ball. And now the 1-0 in there for a called strike. 1 ball and 1 strike. Bender misses. Thompson looking to reach for the first time today. Wide of the plate. Count now 3 balls and 1 strike. Trying to be super selective. Going to bridge to the top of the order. Is Wolfgram on deck. Unless he hits a ground ball, the double play ball, we're going to see the top of the order. The 3-1 wide of the plate. And we got 2 aboard as we go to leadoff man and Tua Wolfgram.
Now batting is the catcher, number 21, Tua Wolfram.
And I tell you what, every PG has had a runner in scoring position in every single inning today.
Street of runner, number 14, Ben Haney.
Does not happen very often. And I think they look at it and be shocked they only got 5 runs. Remember, Beckstead came in relief in the 5th inning with runners on 2nd and 3rd and no outs. They surrendered no runs. Last inning, he had runners on 1st and 2nd and no outs and surrendered no runs. And now, runners on 1st and 2nd and 1 out. So, what they call in the major leagues and sabermetrics stressful pitches, that's all he's known today. And where he's been his best. First pitch strike there, so no balls and 1 strike to Tua Wolfgram. Tua is 2 for 4 today with a run scored and an RBI. Lifts this one into left field. And a can of corn in left. No threat of running is Keaton Allen. Pulls that one in. And that'll bring up Sam Haney.
Number 12, Sam Haney.
And PG's just hoping to get Riker Scow to the plate. And if you're just joining us, Riker Scow is 3 for 3 today with 2 doubles, a triple, an RBI, and 2 runs scored. As that one bounced in there. 1-0. Sam Haney on the day. 1 for 3 with a single, an RBI, and a run scored. Back in the 4th inning. Walked his last plate appearance last inning. And the 1-0 bounced in there. Count now 2 balls and no strikes. The 2-0 from Beckstead. Hit to the left side and through. And that will bring in a run. So insurance here for Pleasant Grove on the 2-out RBI single for Sam Haney. That brings in Gage Train. But there'll still be runners on first and second. And now Riker Scow coming to the plate. Mentioned his day today. 2 doubles, and a triple, 2 runs scored, and an RBI. Looks at strike 1. That's a tough one there for 5. And they played him close to the line today. Doubled down the line and doubled in the left field gap. Big swing there, and the count quickly 0-2. Then we had we're going to speed up. Or pinch run, I should say.
Your attention, please. Running at first base, number 24, Gabe McCoy.
So Gabe McCoy going to pinch run for Sam Haney. I imagine Haney will re-enter into that position and go back to left. No balls, 2 strikes, 2 out and 2 on here for Riker Scow. Fastball misses in. Beckstead going to try to stay off the barrel of the bat here. Off the plate. Count now 2-2. And got a hot bat like Scout. Even up 0-2, you're still trying to nibble and stay away because you leave it, catch too much of the plate. He's going to add 2 more runs to the deficit. Deuce is wild. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 out, 2 on. Ground ball to second, handle on the short hop and over to first. Nicely played by Xander Patterson. Last up time coming for Taylorsville, but PG plates an insurance run. 6-3 Vikings. We head to the bottom of the 7th inning. You're watching the 2022 6A State Baseball Tournament. Picturesque day here at Larry Miller Field in the shadow of Y Mountain. Bottom of the 7th inning. And last chance time. Matthew Keyes comes up to the plate. And I'm sure someone's yelling Keys. And I can see, remember, we had Gavin Keyes back in the day at Alta. But yeah, I'm going to go Keys. And he looks at two balls and no strikes here to Keys. Matthew looks at strike one. A 2-1, big swing, and now 2-2. PG with a win will play tomorrow at 11 again. And they'll take on the loser of the Bingham-Riverton game that will be played today at 4:30. Coming up next is going to be Lone Peak and Fremont. So if you're just tuning in, that's why you haven't seen that yet. This game's got to close out. We'll have a 30-minute break. And that ball hit through the infield, and that is a leadoff single.
Now batting is the left fielder, number 12, Ethan Allen.
So Keys does his job. That leads to mom and dad saying they should let him hit more. So runner aboard for Taylorsville. And that brings up Keaton Allen. And he looks at ball one. And the pass ball going to move the runner up to second. Sir, to note, 23 runners combined left on base today. I thought 12 for Pleasant Grove, 11 for Taylorsville. Now we have another runner in scoring position. I mentioned the note earlier that PG's had a runner in scoring position in every inning. And so has Taylorsville. They've had a runner in scoring position in every single inning today. It's one of those things you go back as a coach, you're just going to be scratching your head of how in the world did this happen. So, ball and 2 strikes to Keaton Allen. Singled his last time up, and Keaton stays alive. Two-strike single to the right side for Allen. He does that here, he'll score a run. The pinch runner in for Keys, going to freeze on a line drive. Going to go the short way to third and say he's got to see that ball through. He went on contact, didn't have to, for the first out of the inning. I mean, he lost his contact to boot. And that's where young base runners do this a lot. The ball hit right in front of you, see it through, you just hold up. Make him throw it across. You're going to score from second. It gave him the out, so take your runner out of scoring position and put the runner at first. Did not have to run on contact with nobody behind you. So Allen reaches on the fielder's choice on the 6-5 put out. And that brings up Xander Patterson. Looks at ball one. And the 1-0 chop to the left side. Might have a chance for 2. The throw pulls the guy off, pulls the second baseman off the bag, and everybody's safe. So back-to-back batters reaching on fielder's choice. So drop on the throw, so E4, leaving the runner at second base. And now the game-tying run comes to the plate. Jonder Carrero. And you just don't mess around with stuff. One middle pitch hit over the wall. And we're looking at extras. 3:43 down the line in right field, as that's in for a called strike. Carrero 1 for 3 today. Re-entered the game. He's 1 for 2 with the single. Hit this one into right center field. That's going to play to run. Keaton Allen scores. And now runners on the corners on the RBI single from Jonder Carrero. And it is 6-4. So I'll have a conversation here, and we'll take the break. You're watching the 2022 6A State Baseball Tournament on KSLSports.com. Pitching change coming up. Welcome back to Larry Miller Field. Game time run at first base. 1 out, runners on the corners, as we're at the top of the order for Taylorsville, and it's Daniel Healy, the starting pitcher from today, coming to the plate. He tripled his last time up. He fouls that one back to the screen. Healy on the day is 2 for 4 with a single, a triple, and a run scored. He lifts that one out of play. Count quickly 0-2. Cruz Blackhurst on the pitch. So Blackhurst comes set on the 0-2. Got one to burn, but fastball fouled off down the line. We'll do it again at no balls and 2 strikes. Picturesque day here at Larry Miller Field. Do got to be a little sensitive to the left fielder. It's a glassy sky with hardly any clouds. We had a left fielder earlier, not even see the ball. Can't blame him. Got up into the sky and just couldn't find it. Luckily, it was the center fielder. So just be aware of that as we get down the stretch here. Is Healy hanging on here? Still sitting at 0-2. Imagine you see a breaking pitch. Try to get him on the inside. We always talk about trying to get these hitters turn into swing-o-matics. And right now, Healy's protecting on the outside part of the plate. So you can get him to dive off of a breaking ball in the inner half. 1 out. Runner's got a freeze on the line drive, and this ball again fouled off. And the 0-2 once again for Healy. As Blackhurst kicks and fires. This ball lifted in the shallow right field, diving toward the line. And a catch is made. Runner's going to go to second as he throws into home. And that's a good read at first base. So Healy retired for the second out of the inning, but a great read by Carrero. He saw the right fielder come up firing toward home. Engaged train. He took off on the throw. So the game time run moves up to second base. 2 outs. And it brings up Jansen Beckstead. Looking to extend the game, at least with a base hit. And Beckstead fouls off that first pitch. He's done a good job coming in relief. Mentioned a couple times he came in relief of the starting pitcher, Daniel Healy, with runners on second and third and no outs, and he's not surrendered. Well, he didn't surrender a run. Didn't surrender a run to last inning. And that was a chance to tie the game up with a base hit. And Blackhurst bounces that one in. Evens the count, a ball and a strike. Beckstead was walked in the first, hit by a pitch in the fourth. And 2 times got board today. The 1-1 misses up and in. Buzzes the tower. Two balls and 1 strike. Strike 2. Down to their final strike are the Warriors. Base hit. Inning stays alive. Season stays alive. Here we go, the 2-2. Fouled back. He's got his timing on him. He fouled up straight back like that. Can he find the outfield grass to extend the season for the Warriors? Deuce is wild. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 out, and 2 on. Called strike 3. And PG staves off elimination and will move on in the state tournament. Terrific effort by the Warriors, but just unable to get the runs in. As PG going to take this one 6-4, and we'll move on to play tomorrow at 11 a.m. They'll take on the loser of the Bingham and Riverton game. You have that right here on KSLSports.com. Great season for Taylorsville. We mentioned the resurgence of this terrific program, and you see Coach Becksted's got it moving in the right direction. Their season comes to a close, but go 18-0 in region play. Congratulations on their run. And for Pleasant Grove, moving on to play tomorrow. And our Heineman Associates player of the game's got to go to Riker Scow. Riker was absolutely spectacular from the dish today. 2 doubles, a triple, 2 runs scored, and an RBI in the winning effort today for Pleasant Grove. Again, our 1:30 game been bumped back 30 minutes. We'll be back here in 30 minutes' time, about 2:20. To start the elimination game between Lone Peak and Fremont. You're watching the 2022 6A State Baseball Tournament on KSLSports.com, your home for high school championships. I'm Dusty Lister.